Birds sing not because they have answers, but because they have songs. Here's my 2 cents about the rate of suicide around the world. It is even interesting that there's been an increase of suicide in Africa. Growing up in Africa, suicide was never a thing you thought was African. It's you hear of suicide in the Western world, and you'd think, oh yeah, they're spoiled. They don't train their children properly. They are liberal about how they bring up their children. They have all the goodies. So a moment of discomfort, they think it's time to check out. And one would never have thought that that concept or that phenomena would become a normalcy in Africa. In other words, it seems to suggest that things have changed, that there is a change in Africa, or perhaps it was existing and we didn't know about it. But suicide did exist in Africa. It was only frowned upon. It was not. It was considered weak. The most infamous record of suicide in African context is gotten from Chinua Achebe's "Things Fall Apart," and where the anti-hero Okonkwo committed suicide because of, I should say, a feeling of inadequacy. The white man had infiltrated his village, and things were going to change. With the world as they knew it was changing, and he could do nothing about it. He had also committed murder, even though it was supposed to be done that way. But all these mixed feelings, all this baggage was weighing on him, and he felt the easiest way was to check out, so he hung himself. For someone to commit suicide in the African context, something grave must have happened. People necessarily don't take their lives because their girlfriends left them, or somebody said something bad about them, or they were bullied. It was not an African thing. But things are changing. It's becoming evident that what we see in the western part of the world is happening in other parts of the world. Why? I think it's because the social dynamics have changed. With the advent of social media, especially Facebook, Instagram, and so on and so forth, and the rise of the new parents, the influencers, people get their validation from a world that is not real. People get their validation from a filtered version that is presented. Now, this is what I want to, I've been thinking of, this is what I've been taking into consideration. As a photographer, I see a picture and I imagine what the end product will be. 9 out of 10 times, the picture is not exactly the end product is not exactly what I saw. The end product is going to go through processes. It's going to go through processes of light, process of post-production before it becomes the final product. In other words, I am not presenting the reality. I'm presenting a version of the reality. For a video to become a video, it has to go through the right lighting, the right angles, the right camera angles, the right backdrop plots, and the right props and all that. And then it goes to post-production before it becomes a final product. And so the unsuspecting consumer sees this and begins to measure his or her life with that end product, with that artistic piece, not forgetting that that is not the reality. You see a supermodel and think she's spotless, her skin is flawless, her skin is without spot or wrinkle, but that is not the truth. That is not the reality. So we should remember that what we see, what we consume via the media is not exactly reality. People don't present the blemish to the world. They present the filtered. They present the altered. They present the best of what they could create. I've discovered recently that teens get their worth from how many likes they get on their Instagram post or whatever they post, or videos, or whatever they put of themselves. And the amount of like is some sense of indices of how valued they are in this social community. So if you are not pretty to a particular standard, the social community does not embrace you. Perhaps you have to ramp up your sexuality in order to attract How do I think this can be solved? I think we should remind ourselves that social media is a tool for us to connect with others, but it should not be a replacement for reality. It shouldn't be a replacement for real life. That is what it has become. That is why children live in their head. Children live in the virtual world, forgetting that they have the real world to go to, forgetting that they have people to communicate with, forgetting that they have schools to attend, forgetting that they have bullies to face, forgetting that they have hurdles to surmount. So that is why I think mankind has not been equipped. Mankind was not built to live in a virtual world. So our instincts are not developed to navigate the virtual world. We have to be deliberate about our use of technology. We have to be deliberate about our time with technology, our interactions with the virtual world, realizing that, like the movies, then it is a source of entertainment, or if you're on social media, it's a source to connect with people, perhaps easily, but it should not replace seeing somebody across the street and saying hi. It shouldn't replace going to play badminton with your friends. It shouldn't replace going to play dodgeball with your friends. That is humanity.